For a ticket?
You. I've seen you in the clinic. You run errands. Don't play dumb. Let me guess. Natasha wants you to persuade... What's the use? I'm terminal. Life will be over. Of course not. Every book I read has descriptions that match my symptoms exactly. I can diagnose myself with a dozen people in my situation. A follow-up visit is just a waste of time. What else is there to say? Natasha was seeing me free of charge. She said I could keep a tab running for as long as I liked, then pay it back when I had the opportunity. You think I need you to tell me? Don't try and persuade me. I've already thought... Dr. Vash never charged me anything either. Natasha's great, but... Natasha's brother? They both used to practice medicine back in Rivertown. I heard he was a top student from the Overworld Medical Academy. Bellabog's main hospital wanted him. I've no idea what convinced... What do you mean? Dr. Vash was a people's doctor. He handed out free medicine. He even followed up with the underworld is always short on medical resources. I said, you think I don't want to? I should keep my voice down. I heard that Natasha had something to do with Dr. Vash's death. They say she was jealous that her brother had... It's just something people were saying. I don't think Dr. Natasha could do something like that. Forget I said anything. Since I'll go to the clinic for my follow-up a little later.
Avoiding a follow-up visit due to money issues. I should find another patient to talk to.
What was that? Oh, you'll have to be louder. My ears aren't what they used to be. Ah! A follow-up visit. Is that what you're asking about? Natasha's a wonderful girl. But at this age, it's rather a lot to bear. Even if they could cure me. Not for youngsters like yourself. When you get to my time, my husband had the same illness as me. But he never touched the medicine. Then, one day, he said he needed to take care. He was forever saying he wanted to go before I did. I miss him. Now that... You're not wrong, I suppose. That girl certainly spares... Okay, you win. It's... Did you want to... Virtual who? All right, I heard you. Do you have to shout?
Avoiding a follow-up visit due to her husband. I should find another patient to talk to.
Why haven't I gone for my follow-up visit? Are you a patient too, or did Dr. Natasha? Who else would care about people? I don't need Dr. Natasha's help now. Tell her to say... A dispute? No. I just don't really approve of her methods, that's all. Too idealistic. And no, she tries to save everyone, which means she can't save anyone. In the end, it's the patients who suffer, and she just... Miners like me don't have time for lengthy treatments. If I can't take something and get right back to work... Did you, know Dr. Vash? His wonder medicine is cheap, and the results are immediate. You just need to... Dr. Vash's medicine is... different. Lots of people make a full recovery after even knowing the risk. Most people fight tooth and nail to get hold of the medicine. When life forces you to the edge, you'll throw yourself at any opportunity. People like us. A slow and torturous treatment is the same as a death sentence. If it's between that and a quick result, forget it. Why am I telling you all this? What? Now you're interested in the wonder medicine? Listen up. The Complex Illness Mutual Aid Society is still selling that medicine. I can tell you where they trade, but you must not tell any of this to Dr. Natasha. You hear? If you break the rule, you'll fail. Here, take this. It's the address. A final warning. Do not
I know where to find the wonder medicine. What should I do next? That patient didn't want me to tell Natasha about this. Should I listen to him?
I wish you all a journey that is free of illness.
So the Mutual Aid Society found Vash's research results, and now they're selling this so-called wonder medicine to patients. Any organization doing something like this is interested in more than just mutual aid. I'm not surprised. They'll know that I'm completely against them using this wonder medicine. What Vash left behind is nothing more than reagents and experimental byproducts. The word medicine... I warned the patients countless times, but seems like they had their heads in the sand all along. No wonder they kept them... Thank you. Those patients weren't exactly singing my praises. If you're curious about Vash's wonder medicine, you should ask some of the patients in the clinic. See what they have to say.
Some people say that Dr. Vash was a saint who came from the overworld to help those in need. People's doctor. That's just what people who've bought into the myth like to say. Vash used to distribute free medicine all the time. But the hard truth is that we were just his test subjects. It didn't matter if the medicine worked or not. Of course, I can't control what anyone else...
The medicine Vash left behind? That stuff... Can you even... I know Dr. Natasha's here, but I have to tell it like it is. Vash had zero medical ethics. He didn't deserve the title doctor. He may have had the capability, but he didn't use it to help anyone. Whenever I went to see him, he never even asked about my illness. If it were you, would you have taken that medicine?
I wish you all a journey that is free of illness.
I still haven't worked out how to convey it to you. The issues surrounding Vash. I'm guessing you've heard a lot of different opinions on Vash. I see. I want you to go and visit another patient, a victim of the wonder medicine. I want you to see that once you've understood her situation, come back and tell me what you think.
Who are you? Who? And... Where's my husband? Where are they? You don't know. Where?
Come over here, child. It's best to leave that poor lady. Both her husband... Yes, before her family passed away, her husband and child caught a mysterious illness. In order to try and rid themselves of the ailment once and for all, they bought some kind of wonder medicine. who the two began to suffer terribly, such that death became a blessing. It wasn't long before, from that moment on, she became as you see her now. If Dr. Natasha hadn't taken her under her wing. And yet, what more could have been done? They were warned about the medicine. Talking about it tires me out. At least my husband and I are able to help her where we can. I just hope.
Are you hurt? Let me take a look.
Did you speak to her? By the look on your face, I'm assuming you've come to understand. Be it Vash or the Mutual Aid Society, forces like that can take full advantage of the... Let me tell you, there was once a brilliant overworld doctor with unmatched pharmaceutical skill. The doctor was set on developing a medicine that would steel the human body against the cold. He named his research project Blizzard Immunity. But his research met with obstruction time and time again, the biggest factor being a lack of test subjects. Tampering with the human immune system carries huge risk, and nobody in the... As such, the doctor got in touch with his sister in the underworld, claiming that he wanted to support the medical effort below ground. Naturally, his sister was overjoyed. After all, as far as medicine was concerned, her brother had always been the standard she'd strive to attain. She brought her brother underground and entrusted him with her clinic and laboratory. I think you know what comes next. Issuing free medicine to the needy was just Vash's way of conducting experiments on his test subjects. On some level, his reagents were able to alleviate the patient's suffering, but nothing more. They would forget their pain for a while. The result? Patients with mild illness would attribute their recovery to the so-called wonder medicine. Well, I cannot accept that their fate was simply the result of misfortune or risk. That's why I want you to help me recover all the wonder medicine. Thank you. This will be hard for the people that have come to rely on the wonder medicine. You mustn't hesitate. Recover every last reagent that Vash left behind. I'll take responsibility. Go. I'll be waiting for...
Upgrade configured.
Stop right there. No one's allowed up ahead. Who are you trying to kid? You're that clinic woman's lackey. Did you think the mutual aid? She's after our medicine and sent you here to men. Look lively and send this idiot packing already.
Hey! Go Nuppy! Time to twirl! Right! Investing in victory means playing the long game! Project wrapped!
Well, look who we have here. Your reputation precedes you, outsider. I didn't take you for... Oh, just passing through. And our guards, you listen here. I'm the president of the Complex Illness Mutual Aid Society. The medicine we hold here is lifeblood for many of our members. Are you sure you want to deprive them of that? Those poor patients. Along comes a life-saving wonder medicine, only to be snatched away by a shameless bandit like you. The underworld is full of sickness. What would happen if we left it all to that clinic to treat? My mutual aid society has relieved that doctor of patients at the end of the road. Shouldn't she be thanking me? Seems like you are quite bent on dismantling our operations. Fine, seeing as you came all this way. Men, seize the medicine thief.
This big diamond, it's all yours! Liquidation! Time to twirl! Time to twirl!
Eliminating threat.
Holy Mr. Storm!
Relax.
Blast it! What did we ever do to you? What?
Moneymaker? So you admit it then? You're not in this to save lives, you're in it.
What are you doing here? Oh, as if we didn't have enough trouble.
Selling fake medicine with false kindness. You should have expected trouble to find you sooner or later. I have a responsibility to protect the well-being of my patients. Or to put it another way, I must
You can't save everyone. The underworld is teeming with sickness.
You're right. I can't save everyone alone. But if I must, I would sacrifice food and sleep to treat them. The debt that Vash owes to the underworld rests with me. All I can do is help everyone to the best of my...
So stubborn. In that sense, you're no different.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. Your actions today have saved many... I'll find a way to dispose of Vash's leftover reagents. Next time the Mutual Aid Society wants to whip up a quack cure, they'll be out of... Let's go back to town. I still...
Time for a break. Silent mode activated.
It looks like the patients have surrounded Natasha.
What are you saying, Doctor? The wonder medicine is out of supply?
Correct. That medicine is a wolf in sheep's clothing. Wildfire has cut off the supply chain. Your ailments need rational, scientific treatment. Relying on pseudo-medicines will only worsen your condition.
Rational and scientific, huh? The way I see it, you're just...
How dare you speak to Dr. Natasha like that? Where are your manners?
Ma'am, please, think for a moment. How can you still be siding with her? That wonder medicine was working fine for us, and now it's gone.
I understand your anger, but as your doctor, I ask you to trust my judgment. I will find a way to access more medical resources and help you through your struggles. If I must, I'll get help from the surface.
The surface? I almost forgot that you were an overworld big shot.
Have some respect for Dr. Natasha.
If it's respect she wants, she better find a replacement for the wonder medicine fast. If not, I'll tell everyone. I'm out of here.
Well, are you hurt? Let me take... Oh, you're here. I apologize. Don't let your emotions get the better of you. If I were in his shoes, I might well have had the same reaction. Now I need to focus on treating the patient. Let's leave it for now. I'll feel a lot better once now's as good a time as any to tell you Vash's whole... If there's anything you want to know, don't hesitate. No, but I used to think we were so close that we may as well have been. I, actually grew up in the orphanage. It wasn't until I was adopted by my adoptive mother always saw me as her own flesh and blood. And Vash loved me like a sister. My adoptive parents belonged to a prominent medical family. As kids, we were exposed to all kinds of medical texts. When we were older, both of us got straight into Belobog's medical school. He was gentle and introverted. But when it came to work, he could be whenever I made a mistake in an experiment, he'd bite my head off. And then a while later, he'd apologize and comfort me. I didn't know he had leftover reagents in Rivet Town. If you fail to make a clean break with the past creeps. That's a long story. Ever since he was little, he saw the human body's vulnerability to cold as a disease, and wanted to cure it so that humanity could survive the eternal freeze. If he succeeded, people would be able to leave Belobog and rebuild their homes in the snow plains. To be honest, I never understood how he'd achieve that blizzard immunity. But I do admire that vision. I knew his research in the overworld wasn't going well. I used to write to him and ask him to come down and stay with the kids in the orphanage for a while. But I was too young to know what long-term frustration could do to a person. It changed during his stay in the underworld. He met patients affected by fragmentum corrosion with mild symptoms. Compared with non-patients, their bodies reacted differently. He began to simulate mild fragmentum corrosion, thinking that it could lead to breakthroughs into... Those reagents of his aren't cure-alls for critical illness. That doesn't exist. Vash made the reagents to mitigate the suffering of his patients but behind my back, he had been doling out the reagents to residents who were kept in the dark. When it finally struck me that something was wrong, his terrible research had already turned him. I trusted Vash with all my heart. When his experiments were exposed, I spent a long time with Oleg. This was shortly before the underworld was sealed off. There were hardly any Silvermane guards remaining. We spent ages trying to find... In the end, Oleg suggested that we banish him and permanently deny... Had his victims found out the truth, Vash would have been torn to pieces by furious underworlders. I was young and weak at the time. Looking back, it wasn't. He deserved much worse. Oleg and I took Vash to the overworld. He made his final request to us. To take him out, his figure gradually disappeared into the snow curtain. Forgive me. I'm not good at telling. Let's call it a day. Thank you for cleaning up the mess my brother left behind. Are you hurt? Let me take a look. Can I talk to you for a moment? I have a favor to ask. Something... rather personal. I want to thank you again for recovering the Wonder Medicine. But disposing of Vash's reagents isn't enough to solve the medical supply shortage. Many of my patients can't be seen promptly, and my stock of medicine is... Thanks to you, the route to the overworld through the furnace core has reopened. I'd like to use it to return to the surface and see if I... Remember my adoptive parents I mentioned to you a while ago? After the reopening of the Furnace Core passage, I had an idea. I wrote a letter and asked Sampo to deliver it to my parents' old address. I didn't have high hopes, but amazingly, Sampo brought... That's exactly what Mom said. They still live at the old house, but they're not working on the front lines anymore. They should still have some connections in the medical school and the hospital. If I'm lucky, maybe I can convince them to send extra medical supplies to the under... Of course, that's not the only reason for me to go back to the surface. I can't wait to visit my parents again. And I can tell from my mom's letter that they feel the same. If possible, I would like you... Wonderful. I've sent another letter to my mom telling her to find us near Fountain Plaza. Don't worry.
Time for a break. Silent mode activated.
Careful now. Don't get your clothes wet.
This place doesn't seem to have changed much from what I... Oh, there you are. Look at the busy flow of people. We're a little early. I want to buy my mom a gift. You're more of an overworld local than I am now. Flowers, huh? That's a great idea. I've been underground for so long. Flowers it is, then. Can... Summer. Was that always the name? Seems I was too young to get the irony back then. Sorry. I don't mean to sound cynical. Maybe it simply represents the people. Now that I think about it, sending flowers is quite the tradition in my family. Mom, Dad, Vash, and I, whenever something good happened, we sent each other flowers to celebrate. Do you want to hear a flower story? Each year for their anniversary, my dad would send my mom a bouquet of ball peonies wrapped in red paper. I heard that ball peonies represent love that knows no end. It does fit their merit. My father is a famous surgeon in Belobog. Because of his fame, people in medical circles paid great attention to his surgeries. He always had them each time he finished a tricky operation. My mom and I would buy a single stem of sunshine and then pin it on the chest pocket of his apron. Sunshines represent warmth and love of light. For patients on the verge of death, my dad might have been the only light to penetrate the darkness around. Vash. Out of everyone, and still, I remember the day he received his offer from the medical academy. My parents took me to the florist, and we bought him the most expensive marquee stem in the shop. When we gave him the flower, he failed to hide his smile. As an orphan, I never knew my birthday. My adoptive parents took me to the overworld and made the day I joined the family my birthday. And each year on that day, my parents would give me a bouquet of first snow. The number of stems represented how many years had... I only found out later that first snow represents beautiful memories. My parents gave me a beautiful childhood, and I still haven't...
Oh, Artem, you're such a...
ball peonies, is it? 1 second. There you go.
All done? May I? Ball peonies. Nice pick. I knew you'd pick the right flowers. Let's go. My mom will be there soon. That's not...
Come around and have a look.
Mom!
Nat?
Nat, is that you? It's been too long, Mom. Sorry. I don't usually get this emotional. How have you been, Mr. Oswell?
I'm doing fine, Miss Natasha. Just fine. Look at you. You've blossomed into a fine young woman. Such a pity.
Dad, I was wondering where he is. Is he...
It was 3 years ago, Nat. No need to be sad.
I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry.
Don't be, my dear. It is my honor to look after you.
It's not your fault that they sealed off the passage between the surface and the underground.
Oh, Mom. I apologize. I wish this were a happier reunion. But there are too many suffering with sickness in the underworld.
Oh, there's no need to apologize, my child. I've heard of your deeds, Dad. We have many connections in the medical academy. No matter what you need, be it medicine or data, be the doctor you always were, Nat. We have all the time in the world to catch up later.
She's always been there for me. With her help, we'll be able to ease the underworld's medical supply shortage. That's good news for patients who'd lost hope. I really wish I could spend the whole day talking to her about the old days. Let's head back to the underworld. We need...
Miss Natasha, one moment, please.
Mr. Oswell? I thought you headed back home with Mom.
I apologize, Miss Natasha. As a matter...
Something that Mom isn't...
You haven't changed a bit. Smart and sensitive. The fact of the matter is, in the first 2 years after the pass...
What? Letters from Vash?
Of course, miss. I recognized his handwriting. You'll see what I mean when you... Actually, those letters were intended for your eyes only. The delivery address was the underworld, but because of the sealing off of the passageway...
I don't understand.
I'm sorry, miss. I opened one of them out of curiosity. Master, that's why I put the letters in a secure place, waiting to hand them... I'm not sure if I did the right thing, Miss Natasha. I just didn't...
Do you...
Of course, here. You can tell...
cold has revealed to me my arrogance. How can a child who grew up in warmth ever begin to comprehend a cure to bitter cold? Vash didn't give up on it. I live in abandoned houses under broken roofs and continue my experiments. If what's in here is true, then Vash must have built a lab somewhere in the snow plains. There'd be no point in him lying to me in the letters. Still, it's possible. I need to leave the city to recover my brother's research data.
Leave the city? You are taking too...
I know, Mr. Oswell, but I have a hero with me. She saved the underworld. Vash. Oh. Ignore me. Such harsh cold. It's hard to imagine anyone surviving in these conditions. Unless blizzard immunity is real. Let's hurry up. We need to find any clues that Vash may have left behind before both of us become ice sculptures. Here, this looks like lab equipment. Maybe Vash... Still, it's all just used test tubes, beakers... Oh, I know my brother. He's meticulous when it comes to medical experiments. There's no way he wouldn't document his results. I want to go deeper into the snow plains. Gosh. Oh, that's very kind of you. This may not sound like me, but I hope that deity the architects worship can...
Citizens? Outside the walls?
That's a silver... Oh, I'd almost forgotten. No one can leave Belobog without authorization.
I can't say you sound suspicious, but... I can't just take your word for...
Captain, look at her necklace. Maybe she's telling the truth.
It's... the same as Dr. Vash's.
My brother does wear an identical necklace.
Are you really his sister?
Saved?
Yes. Take a look at the guards patrolling outside the city. All of them are, aside from the monster-related casualties. We lose men to frostbite every year, but thanks to the medicine the doctor leaves us, my soldiers are able to withstand the cold. They can make camps in the snow plains as footholds for our patrols. If it were...
Medicine?
We don't know. Dr. Vash is... elusive. My squad only met him once, and he didn't seem like the talkative type. He leaves them. The medicine is extremely potent. A small vial could keep someone warm. Speaking of the doctor, it's been a long time since we last saw him.
So he really did have a breakthrough in the snow plains. Oh, did the medicine have any side effects for you?
Side effects? Not that I know of. If there were a problem, it'd be that we couldn't go back to the city and...
Because the city would be too hot for us. We'd break a sweat just sitting idle.
Thanks for the information. We're planning to head deeper into the snow plains.
Seems like you've made up your mind. I'd really like to send someone here. Take this medicine. If what you two told me is true, I'm sure you're more than...
Thank you, Captain. We'll take it. Hold on. That's a big guy over there. Did you see that? There's something on the monster's back. Oh, the blizzard immunity. Shall we drink it? It's your call. I'm ready. Can you feel it?
To say bye.
It seems like Vash's medicine is working. So warm.
It's all yours! Go Nappy! Right! Investing in victory means playing the long game! Time to twirl!
Relax. It's done. That was my first time seeing you in battle. You've got some moves, don't you? Let's have a look over there. My gut tells me we should find... These are... It's Vash's handwriting. This must be the location of his final lab. Come have a look. His last experiment was nearly 2 years ago? What happened after that? His notes seem to suggest... Brother, where are you? What happened? Sorry. I needed to take a moment. After seeing the letters Mr. Oswald kept for me, I was... hoping things might have ended different. He was my family, and so I can't forgive him for what he's done. Maybe I should feel glad. The medicine might not have been what he wanted it to be, but it came to something. You're right. There can be no forgiveness for the crimes he committed. He didn't deserve the title of doctor, but maybe this blizzard immunity can now bring benefit to others. I'll take his records and data with me, and continue what he started. Before we leave, I'd like to ask for another favor. The last one. That should do. Hope it can withstand. You're right. Here lies... That'll do. Thank you for help. So long, brother. Hope you don't... A doctor does not get to choose his or her patient, my children. Remember, never say no to those...